So I'm Alex Ward. I am a messaging expert. I'm a keynote speaker and the founder of Core Story. And I work with leaders and brands to help them speak with guts, heart, and real clarity. And essentially, that's what this podcast is all about. It's an extension of that. Hello and welcome to Naked at the Top. Today's guest is someone who leads with heart, hustle, and a big dose of humanity. Christofi is the founder and CEO of Revington. He's an author, a podcaster, and a man who's raised over $1 million to combat homelessness through Vinny's CEO Sleep Out and more. He's built a business that helps Australians create wealth, but what stands out most is how he shows up as a dad, a giver, and someone who genuinely wants others to win. Chris, welcome to Naked at the Top.
Thank you very much for having me.
Before we jump into the interview, Chris, I've just got to know, what does Serenity Now mean?
I'm a massive Seinfeld fan. So Frank Costanza yells it all the time when he's having kiss with his wife or his son. Serenity Now. So we've got two buttons in the office. So if someone's having a tough time, they press the button. So it's a Seinfeld reference is the short answer.
I love that. Yes, I spoke to Haley before we interviewed, and she told me all about Seinfeld. So I thought I'll open with that one. I haven't watched it myself, but I love that you had that buzzer there. It's almost like we planned it, and we absolutely didn't.
Got another one in their office as well. The top there on the booth. So there's a lot of Seinfeld references. We've got a Seinfeld poster in the kitchen, which a client of mine and also a dear friend of mine bought and sent to me. There's a lot of Seinfeld stuff here.
Love it. Can you just give me a quick rundown of your business and what you do?
Well, I started in residential real estate, and our vision was to create the number one choice for Australians looking at creating, building and protecting their wealth for now and generations to come through property investment. So the company was launched from my parents' living room on the 21st of March, 2005. So we celebrated our 20 years of business this year.
Congrats.
Our vision was realized that we are a fully integrated financial services company. We offer property services, both new build, buys, advocacy. We also do residential lending. We do financial planning, accounting, and property management. So we're fully integrated across all platforms. We've been very, very fortunate. We've helped over 10,000 clients, of which 3,500 have purchased property. We're very, very proud of that. We've done over $3.5 billion worth of sales, got over $1 billion under management, featuring over 120 publications, over 500 five-star Google reviews, won over 50 industry awards. So we're very, very proud of our legacy and our tenure in this game, but we continue to grow, we continue to evolve. We always approach it as we're students, so we're trying to get better and better because our clients deserve the best knowledge, the most up-to-date research, and we're always learning better and better things. And also I wrote a lot about that. I wrote a book, which was an Amazon bestseller, Your Path to Wealth Brick by Brick, which was, I wanted to give people all the knowledge that we've learned over all those transactions so they can buy property safely and securely and really build their wealth.
Amazing. It's very impressive, everything that you've done over the last 20 years, and congratulations on your 20-year anniversary. As somebody who's just in my second year of business now, what would be a key piece of advice you give to someone who's just started out on their journey?
Have fun. Don't quit. Offer your team clarity. Your challenges don't go away, they get bigger, but you also get stronger. You get better. So just keep evolving and surround yourself with good people. So I've always had great mentors around me, and I just love what I do. It's like day one for me. I've done over 100,000 hours in real estate and wealth creation. They say it takes 10,000 hours to master any skill or craft. I've done over 100,000, but I feel like I'm still learning every day. I love what I do. Just enjoy it. It's always, that's when things are tough. Just remember that's what you signed up for. That's where you're going to grow. That's where your opportunity lies. And, I love what I do. I'm very fortunate to wake up and do 12, 15, 18 hours days, 6 days a week and still enjoy it and love it.
Wow. Yeah. It's so important to love what you do and to have fun. I think that's really important. And I don't think everyone does have fun in business, but you know, if we can do it with a smile on our face, it makes it a bit easier. So yeah, I spoke to a few people before I interviewed you, and I just want to give you a few quotes. So Haley said he literally cares about the person he's dealing with, whether he's selling property or working with a charity. He puts people first. And your brother Zen said he's gone through different phases in leadership, constantly evolving, always learning and always asking, which is just very similar to what you just said there. So, how would you describe your leadership style today?
Well, look, I think that's a very good synopsis of my leadership style. I'm very, very curious as a leader, and I'm always wanting to learn more. I feel it's my obligation to my team, to my clients, to my community, and to myself to always be getting better. I think if you approach everything with the lens that I want to learn how this works and operates better, so you're asking questions to understand, not to respond. You're actively listening. Now, it's something that I've always been very, very good at, being curious. I'm getting a lot better as I mature. I'm turning 46 this year at listening more and being able to be more strategic with my approach. But the curiosity was always there. And I think that's a fundamental aspect of my leadership. I don't micromanage my team. I don't like people telling me what to do. So I don't like to tell people what to do. I like to collaborate and work with my team and understand their points of view. Let's work it out together and let's see what's going to work for us, for our team, and how can we best serve our community better. So for me, I'm not a do this or else kind of guy. I lead by example. And I lead how I want to be led, with respect, with care, with kindness, and humility. So I lead that way. So I think if you speak to any of my team members or colleagues, they'll say that he's very collaborative, he's firm, but he's very fair. And yeah, that's what I appreciate in leadership. So I try to embody those traits with my team.
Yeah, yeah. And Haley actually said to me that everyone has a voice and their opinions are respected. So no matter who you are within the organization, you know, everyone has a voice. So it sounds like that's a really important part of the culture you're building there at Revington.
I think it is important because why would you hire someone if you don't want to hear their voice? Someone that's been doing something for many, many years or hours and hours, surely they'll have an understanding of that. And also, Steve Jobs said, I'm not going to hire really smart people and tell them what to do. So you want to use that knowledge and lean into that. And you want to give them guidance and you want to give them clarity. But also, I'm learning every day. So miss of me not to be listening to my team members. So, yeah, it is a very collaborative approach, and I hire great people. People say that's not my job role or that doesn't fit in, or they treat people unequally. My company won't suit them very well. Our culture will not suit them very well. So it's a very collaborative approach, and I never step on people's toes, and I don't tell my managers what to do. There was one exception. I was in Mexico. And I received a phone call from someone, and we just hired a national manager. Now, the person vetted very well, was very good in interviews, but he went into a meeting and he belittled one of the team members and he made her cry. And he spoke very bad. And I heard about this. I received a phone call in Mexico because I have no tolerance for that. I spoke to myself and I said, have I ever asked you to do something and been very firm? He said, no. I said, I'm going to ask you now. Either you walk him out today, fire him, or put him on the phone to me. Make a decision. He said, of course, I'll do it. And we let him go on the spot. Because even though I was in Mexico, I didn't want that sort of behavior. And especially talking down to a female, nevertheless, in front of other people. Now I don't mind having tough conversations and I'm all for it. And I do it all the time. But it's got to be respectful. It's got to be kind, and you've got to listen to both parties. But will I have a tough conversation? I love tough conversations because they're the ones that move the needle in the business. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm going to be very firm, but I'm going to be respectful as well. To belittle someone in front of other people, I don't think that shows good leadership. What that shows is insecurities.
100%. Yeah. And I think that's testament to the culture that you're building by doing something about it rather than, glossing over it or, giving them even a second chance. It's, there's a way to have conversations and that's not one of them.
And second chances are important. I give second and third chances. There's certain things that have zero tolerance. And that was one of them. So, how every business has non negotiables? My non negotiables are treating everybody equally. You must, kind to everyone. And your job is every job. If they ask you for something, you help. Because what I do, there's not a job that I won't do. I'll clean the tables, I'll clean the walls on the way up. So people walk into a clean environment. I'll wash dishes here because I want people to have a clean environment. You look at the All Blacks, no job too small. They drop down after they've finished a rugby game because they're collective. That's a great culture.
Yes.
Look at the Navy SEALs, the thing that they do the best, which Simon Sinek talks a lot about, trust. You want a high trust culture. And that's what I want to foster here. People do the little things, they do them well with pride, and they have high trust. And all those little things add up to a company that cares, to a company that delivers results, and to a company that goes beyond. And that's the kind of work environment that I want to be around. If you spend 40, 50, 60, if you're crazy, you spend more hours at work like me, I want to be around people that I love, that I enjoy, that are my team members, that are my colleagues. So a lot of when people are new here, they call me boss, and I'll always say, don't use that word. I like colleague. I don't like the term boss because we're all leaders. And those little things play a big difference in a culture.
They do. And on that point, when you say you clean the dishes and things, I have heard that you do take the plates and the cups off people's desks and you'll wash them up and you might have a little bit of OCD. Is this you genuinely want to help people or is it more the OCD?
It's 100% both, but it's because I want to help people, because I want people to walk into the office and it's clean the next day. I want the clients to walk in and the desks are clean, the mirrors are clean. And if it's good enough for me to do, it's good enough for you to do. Pick up the dishes and clean up. And I've got 4 kids, 3 young daughters, and they'll tell you, Dad's very clean and he makes us do certain things, but I do them as well. I want my kids I think it respects the next person. The OCD is a small part, and you could say I do have that. I just like things to be tidy, neat, and orderly. Mm-hmm. I think it shows respect for the next person. I don't like my clients walking into a dirty desk and it's not wiped down, or the chairs are all crooked. It shows the presentation. Those little 1%ers that you think of everything? Like when I've done the dishes, I know when I've done them because everything's straight and everything's even. I can tell. And I remember someone told me, if you do a job, Chris, you should do it to the best of your ability. Do it with pride. And that's, as bad as this sounds, that comes down to when I wake up and I've got to prepare my 3 daughters for school, and I make a few things. I clean everything before I walk out of the house. People walk in, they go, are people living here? I want my house to always look like that. I want my office to look like that. Because people walk in and they think it's considerate, it's nice. You prefer a cleaner office than a dirty one? Would you already be picking up glasses before a meeting? But it is a bit of OCD, yes, but it's also respect for the next person. I do things that I want people to do for me.
Yeah. And have you noticed the difference, because you're doing it, you see more people doing it around the office as well?
I guess so. At times, yes, but I don't really give them the opportunity because I do it very quick. But my PA said, Chris, you got to stop doing this so often because you're the only one that does it. But that's not true. Other people do it as well. It leads by example. I don't tell me what to do. Show me what to do. Help leadership to me. Anyone can bark orders. But I remember that I started all the way from the bottom, did every role in here to get this position. I don't take that for granted. I understand what every role means, and I did my best at every position, which is why I think eventually I became a CEO. When I was working for someone, I cared about the business like it was my own. I worked like it was my own. So naturally, I got promoted to a manager. I was a national manager at the age of 23 at a big company. I was hiring people. We opened 4 offices, trained hundreds of staff. It was a natural progression. Eventually, I wanted to be a CEO, but I put in the hard work, like anyone does. I'm no exception. It's what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I would do quick gear change now, and go into a bit more personal. I obviously spoke to your brother Zen before this, and he told me, and I quote that Chris is a bit of a cheeky bastard, and he told me a story about the his motorcycle when you were younger. Could you tell us that story around your brother's motorcycle?
I was always cheeky as a kid. So I grew up in Cyprus, and back then, you can ride bikes over there. You shouldn't if you're under 16. And I think I was maybe 12 or 13. He said, make sure you don't grab my motorbike and don't go on the main street. I said, no worries. So when we're up on the left, I grabbed his motorbike and I had my best friend on the back and I was trying to do a wheelie, but I'm very bad. And he came and he saw me on one of the main streets and he lost the absolute, go home now. So I went home with my friends. Zen was behind us because he wanted to probably bash me. And as he was coming up to grab me, I held his bike and I let go of the bike. So I was about to drop. So he grabbed it, had to put his gear stick in. So I ran away. Then he started chasing me up the stairs. He went to kick me. He missed me and then fell on the stairs. So he's fuming, he's ropeable. I think I locked the door and he eventually got me and gave me a couple. But I wasn't cheeky. I was a mischievous kid. I used to get in trouble at school all the time because I was never present. I just wanted to work. I'd be playing snooker, selling scratch tickets, making my own money. I was a boisterous kid, I guess. I used to get into trouble a lot.
Mm-mm. And would you say that cheeky boundary pushing part of you has stayed with you in business and helped you?
That's never going to change. My kids will tell you that I'm like a big kid. I take my job and my career extremely serious and I work relentlessly, but I have a
Mm.
ball doing it. So one of my business mentors, he made a little speech about me on the 20-year anniversary. And he said, I think to quote him something like, it was a privilege to work with Chris. It's like some big kid that's just very, very good at business, something
Mm.
along those lines. And my other mentor said that I'm very curious and he hasn't met someone that's so humble and questions business as much as me without ego. And those things were character traits that I had as a kid, that I have as a 45-year-old, that I have as a father of four. I'm going to have till the day I die. I reckon I'll be making fun of my grandkids, God willing, I have grandkids, like I'm a kid, because it's just who I am. Nature or in business, even when we're dealing through something very stressful, I always stop, smile. What is it? And before you say it, we're going to figure it out. Because when you smile, it releases endorphins. You're creating a different level of consciousness. And also, if you're going to deal with an issue, why not deal with it with a smile? So every adversity that I deal with, I smile and I go, whatever it is, we're going to figure it out. What's the worst that's going to happen? And I try to approach business. I approach life like that.
Mm-mm. And do you think having fun is underrated in business culture?
For me, it's a necessity. I wouldn't want to do it otherwise. What's the point of working 40, 50, 60 hours if you're not having fun? And then you're going home and you've got that negative energy and then you're just transferring that to your wife and your kids or your partner, or your animal, if you've got a dog, a cat, whatever. Why would anyone want that? I'm not saying I don't have bad days. I'm not saying those emotions don't overcome me sometimes, but I snap out of it pretty quick. And I do a lot of learning. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of listening to audiobooks. And a lot of it's around mindset. It's around understanding how to regulate your emotions quicker, faster, better, more efficient,
Mm.
NLP, all that kind of stuff. But it's easy when you love something, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you have fun with the team in the office? Is there certain things or moments that you do around the office that keep it fun?
I wouldn't be able to give you one or two. There's so many. Gone when we get sales, there's buttons. They come and ask me a question, and instead of me responding, I might press whatever it is. There's so many ways we have fun. We do a lot of we do self-care days once a quarter, which I told the team I want them to take. One conditional rule on this self-care day: you must post a photo of yourself or write a line of something you did it for yourself. No
Mm.
workbook. When we go to functions, no work talk. Just have
Mm,
fun. When you're on, be on. When you're off, just be present. Try to switch
mm,
off and enjoy your team members in a different level. So there's not one specific thing, but one of the I mentioned a bunch of awards. We got a great place to work. We got certified for a second year in a row this year, and we got a 96% rating. And that's one of that and our philanthropy work are two of the most happiest and proudest things that I feel I've achieved as a business owner.
yeah. Well, on the philanthropy, I would love to talk about that in a bit more detail because you're clearly a very generous guy, from the clients to the charity. Haley actually told me that you're the first person to put your hand in your own pocket and help a client out if you need to see them succeed. Where does this compassion and generosity come from?
I've answered it a couple of times in the sense I only treat people the way I want to be treated. So if I'm in a difficult situation and you've got the ability to help me, I want you to help me. I've worked for companies that do similar work, but they're very strict on how they run the company, mainly about money. The decision's made, well, you signed the contract, bad luck. When I bought a property and I couldn't sell, I lost $106,000 deposit. So I wanted to make sure that none of my clients lose deposits and I can on-sell their properties. I know people go through hardship. So if things that I've driven to clients' homes and problem solved a lot of issues, I've flown up to Sydney and dealt with things before because they were important to me. And I go back to, I just treat clients the way I want to be treated. They're not customers to me, they're clients, but more importantly, they're human beings. I try to build long-term relationships with people. And when a client buys a property from us, I say, this is not where our service ends, it's where our service begins. If a team member leaves this organization, I say, it's not goodbye, it's until next time. Because I genuinely believe these things. So when a client signs for us, it's a client for life. Now, if you're not happy with us and you go somewhere else and there's an issue with you, I'm still going to deal with whatever you need. So, when a client's calling up and they're complaining or they want some sort of a reimbursement, I tell my team to treat that like a new lead coming in and you deal with it straight away. All issue can escalate quick, but it's also our obligation and our duty to deal with the client's needs. Now, you were there when you were getting a sale. You were there when you wanted to make money. Where are you now? So I want you to be there just as much. So when our clients come in for our 6-month reviews, or we do our client appreciation dinners, I want our clients to know how special they are to us. They are the reason that we are here today, 20 years later, and we appreciate them. Now, that's past clients as well that are no longer with us and present. And all of our future clients, we have the same ethos. Because when you run a business and we've got multiple services, there's always challenges that occur. You're dealing with banks, solicitors, builders. It's our job to fix it. It's our job to say, I might not have the answer, but don't worry, I'm onto it. And make sure that you are onto it, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really important because a lot of businesses will focus on the client acquisition and forget about the client retention. So I think that's, it's amazing to hear how much focus that you and the team do put into that. It's so important. I think not enough businesses have that focus.
Look at two things, yeah. It's 6 times more cost effective to keep a client than get a new one. But regardless of that fact, do the right thing. You want to focus on your bottom line. Do the right thing. It's going to indirectly fix your bottom line. Furthermore to that, isn't that why you got in the industry? To help clients, to make money, or to problem solve? If you're going to disappear when there's an issue, you're not the kind of people I want to have a relationship with long term to build my wealth. Everything that you said stems down to just treating people the way I want to be treated. In a financial services setting, but also as a human-to-human setting.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And you do a lot of work for charity as well, and particularly the homeless. Can you tell us about the time you gave the homeless guy a $50 note? What was his reaction?
I can't tell you. I do that. I don't walk past any homeless person and not give $50 to $100 plus. I give food, and my kids do it as well. Some are very taken back. Some you want to make sure you make eye contact. It's not about money. It's about that little bit of hope, that little bit of something. I've been very fortunate in my life to have a lot of great opportunities, to have a great family. So when I lost everything when I was 24 and I was in a debt of 348,000, I had the privilege to be able to move into a beautiful home with 2 loving parents and 3 amazing siblings to rebuild what is known today as Reventon.
Mm.
I did not have that opportunity. I could have well been homeless as well. So everyone's reaction is very, very different depending on when you see them. So for the last 15, 20 years, every year, I will get 5 to 10 cards across Christmas and New Year's, and my kids will write a note. They'll draw a picture. Mila does and Penelope does. And they put anywhere from $100 to $200 in the card. They go buy food and we walk the streets and we give out between 1 to 2 cards. But they must stay and speak to the person as well, to know who they are, and just give them a little bit of hope. Now, I've had people say, this is the best day of my life. Why? I just got a job last week and now this is happening. Some take them back. Some jump and just hug you. But some of them might seem that they're invisible, and then you've got people that walk past the care. And sometimes all you need is a little bit of hope or a little bit of a kickstart, because we make the misconception to think it can't be us or it can't happen to us. Let me assure you, it can happen to anyone. We had people speak that own international businesses, 2nd, 3rd generation homeless people that can't break that cycle. Single females over 55 is the fastest growing cohort. 1 in 4 kids under 12. I've got 3. Can you imagine? 206,000 Australians sleep rough every night. 7 years in a row, Melbourne was the most livable city in the world, but yet we have a homeless epidemic. How is that possible? Well, Victoria's the fastest growing state when it comes to homelessness. So there's so many ways where we need to raise awareness to then help our fellow human beings and break that cycle. Now, this is obviously a big issue, very underfunded when it comes to government funding. So as leaders of our community, and it doesn't mean you need to be a CEO. By leaders, I mean kind, giving human beings. You can give your time, you can give your money, you can be fortunate like being able to give both. Do something to help someone else. And it's not all about money. It doesn't have to be about money. It could be about time. It could be about respect. It could be walking past, just give someone a smile, give them hope. Say hello. It's not cost anything. And you never know how that can change how people are. So for me, it's a very, very big part of what we do as a company. The culture is our philanthropy work. It drives me and motivates me and inspires me and it pushes me every day. And all I think of is how can we do more, as in Christofi, Reventon, and as a community. And I keep thinking of ways to reinvent what we do. So we've done Lead with Kindness. We just built and donated a house, which we sold for charity for $840,000 because I love real estate too, and I can do that. All the gains were tax exempt because it was for a charity. There's different ways we can re-engage our minds to help more. So for me, on Thursday, which is the 19th of June, I'll be doing my 8th mini CEO sleep out. I've been an ambassador since 2018. In 7 years, I've been an ambassador. I've been involved for 8. And I love the work I do for livings.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I like what you say. It's, often people will just walk past homeless people and not even look at them. So, just being able to have that conversation, you never know how that's going to change their day. And being able to just give back to the community, I think it's amazing that the work that you're doing. And I think it's very clear that it's not just a once off. The story I was getting at was when I spoke to Zen. He's clear that you do it a lot because there's people there might be a homeless person that might just shout Chris down the street at you, and he said this one time you gave a $50 note and the guy said, "Oh, you usually give me 100," and I thought that was hilarious.
I remember the story because they stopped me because on Chapel I know most of them on a first name basis. They know my kids. And I walked away and Zen goes, "Oh my God." He goes, "Only you can make a homeless person entitled." Like, what are you talking about? He goes, "They know you that well." And a lot of the times they'll stop me or I'll talk to them. And like, I can tell you the name of the person who sits in front of IGA, the ones in front of Coles. Like, there's about 6 to 8 of them that I know them personally. But Zen was there that day and he just spun out because the guy had the confidence to chase me. Go, excuse me, Chris, can you give me another 50 or can you give me 100? And I go, sure. But yeah, we have had people rock up to our office too and ask me for help, which I really don't mind. But you said just walk past and offer that. Just always think in the back of your mind, wouldn't you want someone to smile at you? Forget the money part. Wouldn't you want to treat you like a human being? Imagine just getting walked past all the time like you're not non-existent. It's a very, very easy compass to think of from. Treats people how you want to be treated. Might not be monetary. It might be just smile, whatever, something. Now, my kids walk past, they don't walk past people that are homelessness or experiencing homelessness and not acknowledge it. They see it. They've seen me do it for so long. They get involved in my lead with kindness events as well. And I want my kids to say that because ultimately your legacy is who your kids are as human beings, what people say about you when you're not in the room, what goes on when you're gone. You know those silly things we said about keeping something clean? It's a beautiful place when someone does something that's got nothing to do with them. When an old man plants a tree that takes 40 years to grow, but he's never going to enjoy it, that's a beautiful world that I want to be in because selfless act. Why would a 9-year-old plant a tree that's going to grow in 40 years? Because he wants the place to be left a little bit better than what he found it. And I love those stories because they inspire me, they motivate me, and they teach you to try to be a better human being. Said today that we spoke about, they all kind of link into being the same thing, don't they? From work to culture to philanthropy to kids. But the overlining part is I have a laugh while doing it always. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to be a kid. I don't have to be boring running a business or being a father or whatever. If it's crazy, just make it fun.
Yeah, exactly. Just be a good human and, smile and have conversations as well. It's like when you were talking there about, not smiling at homeless people, I think it goes even further. I'm noticing now that, often people walk past and not make eye contact, or I'm quite a smiley person, so I just smile at everyone as I walk past. But I noticed that less and less people do it. I was on the train the other day and everyone was like staring at their phone, and it actually makes me feel quite sad when I look at it. I'm like, oh, like coming from a small Scottish town, you usually just have a conversation, but that's becoming less and less now, and it's quite sad, really.
When you walk into a lift, I count people and 90% will be what I do, which is very odd, but I do it, and I do it for a number of reasons, is when I walk past people, I smile and say hello. I speak to everyone in the lift. How's your day? People are shocked. Now, what that does is it allows you to have conversations easier. It's the best sales technique you'll ever learn. It teaches you how to converse. So when I walk past people, I smile and say, hey, how's your day? If I go into a lift, I'll say hello and I'll smile. It actually makes it second nature. And people forgot to do that because they're like this. I see people now walking the streets, crossing the street like this. You can get hit, like literally, like that. And I'm thinking, wow, you're going to get run over and you won't even know. That's the world we're in. But when you just say hello to people, it actually gets you out of your comfort zone if you're a shy and introverted person. And I've taught that technique to many people, and it's helped them in so many ways. Helps your business skills, helps your interpersonal skills, which is going to be a sellable commodity these days because we're supposed to be so connected, but we've become disconnected now because people forget how to do this, which is the most beautiful thing. Some old-fashioned things, I think, like this, will never go away, will always be the most beautiful. Being able to talk to someone, look in their eyes, and have a conversation, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I think genuine conversations are really important. And one of the reasons I started this podcast, because, I think it's great to have more conversations, understand people's stories, and, it's amazing what you can learn. And you touched there on selling. And I would like to talk to you a bit about selling because your brother Zen told me that you started selling scratchies at the age of 10. And Haley told me that you're an incredible salesman. And I quote, she said, you're a freak in sales, but she also said you're a very honest salesman. And if someone comes in and wants to invest and you don't think it's right for them, you'll be upfront and tell them. So What that level of honesty in sales is rare. Where do you think that comes from, and how important is it to you?
I know I've been given a gift to be able to sell and communicate to people. I'm very fortunate. So I want to make sure that I use it for something that I believe in as a product. So one of my sales abilities is the conviction in what I sell. I have the ability to sell anything. I've done all jobs and I've been very good at them. But I want to find the product that I believe in that I can endorse, real estate, because I live and breathe it. And Haley's known me for 25 years. I've worked with Haley for years. She's amazing. She said, you always were great at selling. And I always believed in myself. The first job I got when I was 19 in real estate, I called up a lady and she goes, how old are you? I said, 19. She goes, you're too young. Don't hang up the phone, please. Don't hang up the phone. Let me come in. Let me see the guy. And he can say no to my face. Please don't hang up. She goes, you know what? Come in. He's pissed me. And he goes, what do you think, Chris? And I said, I'll be honest. I don't think there's any commercial residential real estate. I live at home with my parents. If you give me a chance, I'll be your best guy in 3 months. Run. The rest was history. I knew that I could work hard. So being good at selling is just something that I started as a 10-year-old. I'd speak to everyone selling tickets. So I was very good. So the numbers game. And when I'd rock up with a smile, guess what you're doing now? You're smiling. Now I laugh. Hey, I've got 3 tickets and I'll take one, Chris. I go, come on, it's the last 2. They're the lucky ones. Buy them. All right, give me them 3. Then he'll buy the 3. I'll take out my other sheet. He goes, you said they were the last ones. I said, of that, Rob, I've got many more in my bag. And I go, so they'll get used to me going around and they'll be going, oh, no, Chris is coming. All right, we'll buy the tickets. And I just started learning different skills. But it came down to communication. It came down to confidence, which confidence you learn over repetition. And when it comes to an honest salesperson, I've said it many times. I want to treat people how I want to be treated. I'm not going to sell you something to make $1 if I don't think it's going to benefit you. I value people's business when I need it, is kind of the way I approach sales. But if I think the product's genuinely not good, I'm not going to sell it because I'm not comfortable with spending that money knowing that I did you a disservice. Like you said, an honest salesperson, she's seen me I was a national manager at her company for many years. We've been very close friends. We started working together. She's seen every part of my career. She's seen my evolution in real estate. And yeah, she speaks very highly of me, which I'm very lucky to have such great people. But no one knows my business journey in real estate more intimately than Haley. I've been on for 8 years. I've been here for 20. I worked at my first job with her. I worked with her for 4 or 5 years. She's really seen me from a salesperson to a national manager, CEO. She's seen all of them. That's a very good thing. So, and I like to think a lot of people are honest, and I like to see the best in people. And in sales, it gets a bad word, but I'm proud to be in sales. I love sales. I think it's a beautiful word. If it's used correctly and you can empower someone to make a decision and act and make money, you've done them a service, not a disservice. As long as you're selling a good product at the right price and people are making money. Now, if I'm selling things people don't need, charging ridiculous margins, I wouldn't feel so comfortable about myself. I do it. I can do that as good as anyone, in my opinion.
So it's about having that belief in yourself and the product or service that you're selling, really.
Well, here's the best way to know if someone does have the product or service. Do you personally own what you sell? Do you buy it at the same price? Do you use the same builders? So I did an experiment and I was buying, when I wrote about my book, The Reventine Formula, when people are saying don't buy real estate, I've been reading numbers. I'm a statistics man. I'm very left brain, very analytical. Numbers don't lie. People lie, numbers don't. So I'm buying property after property using my methodology, and I bought over 17 properties in 3 years using the Reventine Formula, and I documented the whole thing. So when I speak on stage, I go, hey, this is what I bought. These are the entities. This is how much I made. This is how I did it. This is what I'm teaching you. So I'm writing a book and saying that this is really good and it works. Hey, but here's 8.5 million reasons why it works, and I've invested in it too. Here it is. I don't just say it. I live and breathe it. Very, very easy to sell something when you believe it to your core. But if I'm looking at a project that I wouldn't buy myself, that my team wouldn't buy, wouldn't sell to my family, I'm not going to sell it to my clients. Makes sense to me because I'm not going to see them again, although I won't make as much money. Why would I, in good consciousness, do that? Now, do I sell some properties that perform better than others? Sure. No one's got a crystal ball, but I do my best to do my due diligence and to ensure that I'm getting the best possible advice with the up-to-date knowledge as I can, with independent research attached to my own, but underpinned with, would I personally buy it? Now, the best way to say yes is to show you, hey, by the way, would you like to look at this property here? I'm your next door neighbor. My family owns this one. They go, okay.
So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Well, we're almost coming towards the end of this, Chris. And what I love to do is a little quick fire round with everyone.
Right.
So you can either answer, pass, or throw it back at me. So how often do you say serenity now in a week?
Not often. I don't say it often. I press the button. I used to say it a lot more, not many times.
What's something small that drives your OCD brain mad at work?
My brother comes in and he puts all the trophies crooked and it moves things out or touches stuff. Things aren't straight, so the bottles aren't looking forward. So there's a few things, yes.
Also, does he do that too?
Yeah, my cousin used to come from Cyprus, open my pantry and move all my things so they're not straight like that. He would move them to the side. And I'd open the pantry and I'd go, I want to kill him. But yeah, there's a lot.
And you'd notice.
Instant. My attention to detail is very high.
What was the last thing you said to ChatGPT?
Nothing. I don't use chat.
You don't use it?
I'm technically challenged.
Oh, well, I now use these got a voice thing, so you can actually just speak to it. And it's probably getting a bit unhealthy, actually. I should probably stop. What's one thing about you that would genuinely surprise people?
I wouldn't know the answer to that. I'm an open book. The good, bad, and the ugly I can discuss confidently because it is who I am. I wouldn't know. Like everything, I haven't gambled for 8 years. I used to gamble for 25 years since I was 13. I don't know. I'm an open book, so I wouldn't know. People that have known me I go through phases. If you haven't met me in 6 months, I'm a new person. My core values and beliefs are the same as a kid, but I'm always evolving and growing.
Yes. Well, on that one, I have heard you're very into personal development and you read a lot, as you can see, I do too. What's the best personal development or business book that you've read recently?
It depends on different genres. I love Stoicism and mindset. To business, one of the early ones was Think and Grow Rich. Rich Dad Poor Dad by Kiyosaki, Ray Dalio Principles. I love anything to do with mindset and Stoicism. I like how people think and how they problem solve. So there's so many. It depends what genre you're into. Sales, business. All my books are self-help books. So currently sitting 6 months in, I've listened to and completed 72 books this year so far already. I read and listen to them because of my ADHD. So I buy the hard copy and I buy the audio version. I put it in, so it's being read to me while I'm reading it, so I can visually see it and hear it at the same time. So I'll do 1 to 4 hours almost every day of reading.
1 to 4 hours. Wow. How do you find the time?
On the weekend, I'll do that. I do it at night or in the morning. On the weekends, I'll read 1 or 2 books if I can. If I don't have my kids, I make the time. It's like I enjoy it. It's not really, oh no, I've got to do this. I'm actually looking forward to the time I read.
Yeah, lovely. I'm a big reader myself. I got 2 young kids, so I find I always read when I go to bed, but I find I read about 2 pages, then fall asleep. So it takes me a while to get through books these days.
Buy the audio version as well. If you buy the audio and the book, it's getting read to you while you're reading it, and you can absorb the content better. So I'm listening to it at 1.8 now. So a 6-hour book, I think, like 4 hours.
Yeah, I'm going to try that. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Chris. You've been amazing. I always love to just ask one for the listeners at the end, something that you can pass on to the listeners. So from everyone that I've spoke to said, you're obviously not afraid to evolve. You surround yourself with mentors and you listen. And you create space for people to grow. So what would you say to a leader listening now who might be feeling stuck, like they've plateaued or that they're doing it alone? What advice would you give them?
That's an easy one. Get good people around you. Find a mentor that inspires you, that leads the way you want to lead, that has the same moral compass as you. Your journey, even though you're a CEO, go join a networking group like Club of United Business. I'm a member there. There's a lot of great people that are willing to share knowledge with you, and that's going to actually transcend into your team. Actually, a good thing. But I've been there before, and I've been a little bit plateaued, and yeah, I've just quickly snapped out of it by going and having a conversation with someone. Be around people that are smarter, better, and more efficient at business than yourself, because that's going to elevate your level. And then when you become that person, please remember to give back to the person under you, because it always comes back in a cycle.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed being on your podcast.
Thank you.